In a world where the powers of the dormant demon lord created dungeons all around the world, and adventure parties live stream their dungeon runs, Yuke is a mage and a member of a rank party named Thunderpike. All their members are strong, and they easily clear all the dungeons they enter. However, not everything is well with their teamwork once they are outside of the dungeon. Yuke feels like he is not being paid fairly for his work, and after a successful mission, he tells his party members that he is going to quit Thunderpike. The party leader Simon and the other members tell him to stop being such a whiny because he doesn't even join the fight and just stays in the rear, burning through their items and scrolls. They claim that they will be fine without his little support, and that is the final nail in the coffin. Yuke finishes his drink and then declares that he is going to quit the party forever, and they can go and shove their rank tag up their butt. The next day, Yuke goes to the Adventurer Guild to register himself as unemployed. Just as he finishes filling the form and hands it to the receptionist, a redhead hoe suddenly lunges at him and hugs him tightly. She calls him teacher, and when Yuke sees her, he recognizes her as Marina, a sword mage whom he guided before she took her adventure test. Marina thanks Yuke for helping her earlier, and he asks how things are going for her. She tells him that everything is going well, and then learns that he is on the job market right now. Marina gets really excited on hearing that, and this thirsty bitch immediately asks Yuke to join their party. Yuke goes to meet with her party members, who were also his students along with Marina. The Elf Ranger Silk and the Priestess Rain are both glad to hear that Yuke is interested in joining their party, but they ask him if he is fine joining a D-rank party that is just starting its career. Yuke tells them that he is fine with that because hustling like a rank parties is not for him anymore. He says that for difficult quests and dungeons, he used to invest a lot of money in consumable items, so he didn't earn much, but with D-rank quests, he will be able to save a ton. With that, Yuke officially joins their party, and learns that the girls were planning to complete a quest to mine some magic iron ore today. They head to the dungeon to mine the magic ore, and Yuke feels nostalgic remembering how his journey began. He tells the girls that they can easily find the magic ore on the 6th floor of the dungeon, but they tell him that they are afraid of fighting the boss monster on the 5th floor, so they'll pass. Yuke suggests they can try looking for the ore on the 4th floor first, and they head into the dungeon. Marina has brought her grandpa's walking stick along to search for traps, but that is slowing down their pace, so Yuke decides to take the lead. He shows the girls a magic lantern that can easily detect any low-level traps, and because of that, they quickly explore the dungeon. Yuke begins recalling how this was the first dungeon he visited along with his former party Thunderpike 5 years ago, and their warrior was seriously wounded by the traps. Suddenly, he senses a monster and tells the girls to get ready to fight. They reach a room where wolf monkeys are waiting for them. Silk shoots down one of them quickly, and then Marina rushes ahead to deal with the other two. Yuke casts physical enchantment magic on her to greatly improve her abilities, and then snares the monsters to stop them. Marina easily cuts through the two monsters, and she is shocked to realize how easy it was with Yuke's magic. He tells her that he cast 3 types of enchantment spells on her at once, and everyone is impressed because doing 3 spells at once needs a lot of skill. Soon, they reach the entrance of the 2nd floor, and after checking their equipment and stamina, they head downstairs. Suddenly, a group of zombie miners attack them, and it is Rain's turn to deal with them. Silk and Marina try to fight against the zombies to buy time for her to finish her incantation, and Yuke casts a protective spell on everyone so that the zombies can't even come close. This gives Rain enough time to complete her spell, and she blows away all the zombies with her holy magic. Everyone starts praising her, and Yuke remarks that using holy magic on such a scale costs a lot of mana. He uses a skill called Refresh Mana on Rain to charge up her mana reserves, and she is astonished to learn that Yuke can use it. She tells her friends that it is a rare spell that only red mages like Yuke can use, and with just this spell, one can instantly be admitted to a rank party. They are all amazed, and Yuke tries acting down to earth by saying that he is nothing special. They walk ahead, and he keeps pouring holy water on the ground so that the zombies don't attack them after being revived. Silk thinks that it is going to be really expensive, and they don't have the budget for that, but Yuke tells her to relax because he brewed it himself. This shocks Rain because Yuke is not even a priest, but he replies that he can use the purified ashes of the zombies to make holy water using alchemy. Soon, they reach the 4th floor, and Yuke says that they can find the magic ore on this floor. But before going any deeper, he wants everyone to rebuild their stamina by eating something. For that, he pulls out a whole-ass stove from his magic bag, which makes the girls excited. Yuk tells them that if they work hard, they can afford their own magic bag someday. He begins cooking egg and bacon for them, and then pulls out a magic pot that magically creates seafood soup for them. The housewife inside Rain gets wetter than the soup itself on seeing a pot that cooks food itself, and Yuk says that he found it in a high-level dungeon and it cost a lot to be repaired. After that, they start eating, and Silk notices that the food has extra mana. Yuk tells her that cooking is basically alchemy, and he put extra effort to empower them for mining the ore later. Soon, they find a giant rock lizard which has mineral ores on its back. Yuk slows it down with his magic, and then Marina uses her ultimate attack to kill it. She is really exhausted by using her ultimate just once, but Yuk replenishes her mana and tells her to keep practicing the skill. After that, they begin mining the ore on the defeated monster's back, but they need more, and Yuk suggests that they go to the 5th floor and defeat the boss to get what they want. The girls are afraid because the boss is a tough monster, but Yuk tells them that he will use his full power to help them. Once they reach the boss room on the 5th floor, Yuk tells the girls that he will fight alone to show them his skills. He then takes out a floating camera artifact to record the gameplay of the boss fight, and Marina suggests that they should livestream it cause it will be fun. Yuk decides to YOLO it, but then he asks the girls the name of their party to tell in the broadcast. They nervously tell him that they haven't thought of a name yet, but then Marina comes up with the name Clover on the spot. She says that the 3 girls are the ordinary leaves of the clover, and Yuk is the 4th and the lucky leaf. Everyone likes the name, and then Yuk asks the girls if they also want to feature in the first livestream of their party. They are fine just watching him, so Yuk enchants himself and then activates the live streaming mode on the camera. After that, he opens the door to the boss room and heads inside to see the giant ugly steel crab. The crab attacks him instantly, but Yuk slips from its claws and then uses 5 disabling spells to blind, poison, and paralyze it. The crab tries to attack indiscriminately, but Yuk just uses gravity magic to crush it instantly. He ends the live stream with that, and Marina immediately hugs him, almost breaking his bones in the process. Yuk then puts the crab in his magic bag, and they open the treasure chest that dropped after defeating the boss to find a ton of treasure and magic ore. After that, Yuk and his party head back to the city in a carriage. He acts polite and asks the girls how do they rate their new party member on a scale of 1 to 10. All the girls are really impressed by his overall skills in the dungeon, but Yuk thinks that they would be uncomfortable to see someone who is older than them suddenly become a party member. The girls tell him that it is not like that at all, and suddenly, Silk has a brilliant idea. She tells Yuk that he should become the party leader because he is the most experienced and powerful out of them. Yuk is flustered because he doesn't think it is right for a newcomer to become the leader, but the other girls agree, saying that their party was officially formed when they decided to name it Clover, and that makes Yuk a founding member. When the girls keep on pressuring him, Yuk finally folds and agrees to become the party leader so that he can keep everyone safe. On the other hand, his former party, Thunder Pike, is having a hard time in the dungeon. They have got an archer to fill Yuk's place, but he can't support them like Yuk used to. They struggle against a pack of monster wolves, and even the newcomer throws shade at them, asking why the hell they came to such a high-level dungeon if they are so weak. Suddenly, the witch gets bitten by a wolf, and though the party leader manages to free her, the priestess doesn't have enough mana to heal her. The party decides to retreat immediately, and as the witch lies bleeding, the priestess is still waiting for her mana to recharge. They don't have mana potions or even healing potions because that used to be Yuk's responsibility, and none of them thought to pick it up after he left. The new guy has a healing potion, but he doesn't give it so easily because he expected a rank party to have better management. Meanwhile, Yuk and his party are celebrating their first mission's success. As they drink, Yuk tells them that the reward from the quest was nothing special, but he got a lot of money from selling the corpse of the steel crab. He asks the girls about the division of money among them, and Silk tells him that they put everything in the party fund and use an allowance system for buying necessary things. She explains that they are saving money to buy their own house one day, and Yuk likes the idea. At the same time, his former party is at the same inn, and they are griping and complaining about their failure today. They blame it all on the new guy, saying that he should have been prepared better to help them. The archer gets pissed off that they are treating him like an errand boy, and says that he never thought that the famous rank party would be a bunch of sisses who can't even wipe their ass themselves. He tells them that he is quitting their party immediately, and Yuk turns around just in time to see it. He doesn't want to give any attention to his former party, so he tells the girls that after every successful quest, they will take 2 days to rest and recover. He says that he will stock up the useful items in the meanwhile, and they can head to another mission on the 3rd day. Suddenly, the inn begins to display the livestream video of Yuk defeating the steel crab that has gone viral within half a day. Everyone is interested in Yuk and his party because he defeated a boss monster with just debuff spells. However, this pisses off his former party members who think that Yuk is playing in the lowest league to improve his KD ratio. Turns out they are not the only people jealous of Yuk, because a fat and ugly noble is also cursing him from afar. Anyway, 3 days later, Yuk reaches the guild to pick a quest that is easy enough for the girls, but gives a good reward as well, and the receptionist suggests him a C-rank quest to get magic stones from a waterfall. She says that it should be a D-rank quest, but some strange monsters are roaming around the region recently, so it has become more difficult. As Yuk is in the middle of thinking about it, the girls come running there, and they agree to take the quest without even asking about it. Only after the receptionist leaves to register the quest does Yuk get a chance to explain that they may have to face a monster during the quest. The girls still decide to take the quest to earn more points and money. Yuk tells them to get ready and meet him in 30 minutes, and then the receptionist comes with a receipt of the quest. She tells Yuk to livestream his quest fights because he has become a minor celebrity after his last livestream. He leaves the guild with that and immediately senses someone following him. He leads the stalker into a shady alley, and it turns out to be the jealous ugly noble. Yuk asks him if he has any business with him, and the noble pulls out his sword, telling him to leave Clover immediately. Yuk uses a snare spell on him discreetly, and then asks the fatty if he is out of his mind for telling the leader of the party to quit it. The fatty tells him that he found the girls first, and he will join their party to become their sugar daddy. But Yuk thinks that he is just a junkie who has had too much magic shrooms today. He refuses to leave the party and walks away, and as the noble tries to attack him, he trips on the snare spell and knocks himself out. Once Yuk joins the girls to go on the quest, they tell him that the fat incel had approached them a few days earlier, and he offered to join their party like he was helping them out. However, his skills were mid, and they decided to ignore him since he wasn't taking no for an answer. Yuk also thinks that the guy must be dumb if he can draw his sword so casually in the streets, and he decides to report him to the guild once they return. After that, Yuk brings up the topic of their quest, and says that while the quest is really simple, they may have to deal with some wild beast-type monster. The girls tell him that they have been to the area around 2 months ago, but they didn't face any monsters back then, and there were no ordinary animals around either. The second part worries Yuk, and he says that the only reason all animals run away from the forest is because of a strong monster. He tells the girls that the monster was present in the forest that time too, but they were lucky enough not to encounter it. He says that as soon as they reach the forest, he will start recording everything, and if they run into the monster, he will live stream it. It will be the best if they win, but if they lose and have to run away, he wants the video to be live so that the guild can see them and send help on time. Soon, they reach the forest and Yuk starts recording as they walk inside. He walks at the end of the group because wild beasts attack any group from behind, and tells the girls not to worry about him because he is wearing a special warlock armor that gives him very high defense stats. They reach the waterfall soon, but then Yuk senses something and immediately turns the live stream mode on. Just 1 second later, the monster terrorizing the forest comes out, and to Yuk's horror, it is a high-ranking monster called the Zarnag, which is found in the deepest level of high-ranking dungeons. Everyone panics on hearing that, and Yuk steps in front of the girls. He tells them that they need to escape immediately, because they will die if they fight against the Zarnag. He decides to stay back and stop it till the girls reach safety and the guild sends backup. But suddenly, Marina draws her sword, telling Yuk that she isn't leaving him behind. Silk and Rain also agree with her, and they begin using their abilities to slow down the monster so that they can kill it. Yuk has no choice but to let them in on the action, so he first enchants their physical abilities. Marina rushes ahead to stop the monster while Rain chants her spell, but she gets slapped away. Yuk tries to stun the monster with lightning magic and then casts multiple debuffs on it, but despite that, it doesn't seem to slow down. Yuk realizes that it is a special monster, and he asks Marina to buy him some time so he can use a very powerful spell. Marina begins fighting against the monster, and then Silk calls the forest dryads for help and binds the monster with vines. As the two girls try their best to stall the monster, Yuke finishes chanting his tier 5 spell, Prismatic Arrow. He tells Marina to get back before he shoots it at the monster with devastating power. As the prismatic arrow hits the monster, it groans in pain, but nothing more happens. Yuke thinks that he failed to do any damage, but as the monster charges towards them, a black liquid starts coming out from all its holes. The monster seems weakened by his attack, but it is still strong enough to attack them, so Rain decides to finish it with a powerful magic attack. She uses the tier 5 spell Thunderbolt to hit the monster, but despite that, it doesn't go down. However, Yuke realizes that the monster has been stunned by the strong attacks it took, and this is the perfect chance to finish it off. He tells Marina to go ahead and kill the monster, and she dashes towards it, activating her ultimate skill just as Yuke enchants her sword to land a critical hit. The monster's head falls into the river as the sky clears, and it releases a fountain of blood. Everyone is relieved at this, and then Yuke remembers that he was live streaming this fight. He thanks all the viewers for watching the fight till the end, and then ends the stream. The video is an instant hit in the city, and the popularity of the Clover Party rises further. But the leader of Yuke's former party is pissed because of that. Meanwhile, Yuke is feeling dizzy after using too much mana in the fight earlier. Behind him, the girls are excitedly chatting about their fight, and Yuke thinks that this video will give their careers a huge boost. He approaches them, congratulating them for the successful mission, but adds that he is going to spank them for not listening to his orders earlier. The girls confront him, saying that they are going to lecture him too because he was planning to sacrifice himself just now, and they won't have allowed that to happen in any case. Yuke realizes that this is a 1 versus 3 match and he can't win against the girls, so he says that they will review the mistakes they made later. Soon, they reach the lake where they are supposed to complete their mission, but the girls get in the mood for a swim. Yuke tells them to take a dip in the time he sets up camp. As he hears the girls happily splashing around, he remembers how he was training them to be adventurers just 6 months ago. He kept telling them about the ways in which they could improve themselves and their party, but he always had the feeling that they would make a great team. He is still surprised by the fact that he ended up in the same party as them and thinks that life is too uncertain. A few days later, Yuke and the girls are summoned by the guild master, and the girls are anxious about the meeting. Yuke believes that the guild master wants to talk about the high-level monster they defeated in the forest, because a dangerous quest like that should not have been given to a D-rank party like them. He thinks that normally, any guild master would praise them, but he knows the old man in charge of this place is not normal. Just then, Guild Master Benwood arrives there, and he immediately confronts Yuke, telling him that he has really done something troublesome this time. Yuke tells him that it is not his fault, and Benwood sternly asks him to tell him the things that he didn't mention in the report. His tone scares the girls and Yuke lashes out at the old man for intimidating them. However, that was what the guild master was waiting for, and he tells Yuke that he should have stopped talking politely earlier if he wanted him to stop acting scary. Benwood then sits down and tells everyone to take a seat too. He asks Yuke to answer his question now, and tell him what he thinks about the monster that he encountered in the forest. Yuke tells him that the signs point to it being an overflow, but not the one you will find on Anime. Benwood grows concerned on hearing that and tells the receptionist to generate an investigation quest. Meanwhile, Marina asks Yuke about overflow, and he explains that it happens when a catalyst causes monsters to come out of dungeons. If things get worse, it can lead to a stampede in which a huge army of monsters destroy everything in their path. The girls are worried to hear that, but Benwood tells them that the guild will handle the investigation. He then bows down to the 4 of them and apologizes for putting them in danger. The girls are taken aback by that and say that they were fine because Yuke was with them. The old man says that he watched the stream and he thinks they are quite skilled too, which is why he is going to promote them to C rank. The girls are delighted to hear that, and then Benwood turns to Yuke to give him another good news. He is being promoted to a rank because the prismatic arrow spell he used during the fight is a new spell he created, and all the guild officers believe that he should be promoted. Yuke can't even process what is happening, but Benwood brings out the promotion documents and tells him to sign it. Later, Yuke and the girls go to the guild inn to celebrate their promotion. Yuke hands over the earnings from the mission to Silk, who finds that the amount is much more than she expected. She stacks the gold coins to count them, and at the bottom of the pouch, Benwood has left a platinum coin as an apology. The girls are excited to see the platinum coin, and then Silk says that after adding today's earnings, they have enough money to buy their own base. They begin drinking and eating to celebrate this special occasion, and then Rain asks Yuk about his dream as an adventurer. He tells her that he dreams of challenging the last floor of the dungeon named Infinite Darkness, and that makes the girls spit out their drinks because that dungeon is said to be ridiculously dangerous. Yuk says that it is true because the final floor of the dungeon holds the Abyss Gate that leads to the underworld. He says that he has no plan to cross the Abyss Gate, but he wants to see it with his own eyes. He tells the girls about his uncle who was a great adventurer, and he challenged the final floor of Infinite Darkness dungeon and saw the gate. Even though he could not clear the final floor, his stories inspired Yuk to try it someday. Marina likes the idea and tells Yuk that they should go to the dungeon soon and livestream their fight. But he tells her that it is not so easy. First, they need to be in a rank party, and on top of that, they need permission from the government to even enter the dungeon. The girls get fired up on listening this, and they promise Yuk that they will grow stronger so that one day they can challenge the dangerous dungeon together. Soon, the Clover party embarks on another mission, and they live stream their fights as always. While Marina fights on the front lines, Yuk guides her and protects everyone with magic barriers. Silk uses the vines to tie the monster down, and then Rain attacks it with a powerful lightning spell. To finish things off, Yuk uses a magic scroll to unleash a rock magic on the monster, killing it. The livestream is well received by the audience, but not by Yuk's former party, Thunderpike. They are jealous of Yuk's success, but more than that, they are concerned about their downfall. They blame it all on the new members who join their party, calling them useless. Moreover, the wizard of their party has been avoiding going out with them lately after she was injured, and she is starting to fall behind when they go on missions. They think that maybe they should get Yuk to join their party again, because when he was with them, they didn't fail their missions so miserably. They think that they should cut the payment of the wizard girl because she is becoming useless and give a bit more money to Yuk so that he doesn't have a problem returning to their party. Meanwhile, Yuk and the girls return to the city from their mission, and they are shocked to see Thunderpike's leader Simon waiting for them at the door. Yuk is taken aback to see him, and he tells the girls to go and report to the receptionist while he deals with this. The girls go inside quietly, and then Yuk asks Simon what the hell does he want. Simon invites him to talk over a drink, but Yuk refuses, saying that he is tired because of the quest. He begins walking inside, but Simon stops him, telling him to come back to Thunderpike. Marina and others are eagerly listening to this conversation from the other side of the door, and they get worried as Simon reminds Yuk about their long-lasting friendship and their dream of challenging the Abyss Gate together. He says that Yuk will need to be in a rank party to even try that, and that is why he should rejoin Thunderpike. However, Yuk slaps his hand away, telling him that he is the leader of Team Clover and he is not going to leave them. This pisses Simon off, and he tries gaslighting Yuk into taking the blame for Thunderpike's failure after he left. However, Yuk tells him to grow up and deal with his problems like an adult. He goes inside the guild building with Simon yelling that he will regret it, and this commotion draws the attention of the ugly Fatso who tried to attack Yuk in the past. Meanwhile, Simon finds the girls really anxious about the conversation, and when he assures them that he is not going to leave the party, Marina hugs him so hard that he feels his bones crack. He somehow manages to push her away, and then they go to have drinks together. Soon after that, they get a quest from a popular armor shop called Earthy's. Yuk tells them that the shop is launching a new theme focusing on women adventurers, and since their party is 75% women, they have decided to pick them as the poster girls. The three girls will get high-quality armor from the shop, and the shop can use the video of them clearing dungeons to promote itself. The girls are surprised to hear this good news, and they find that they will get the armor for free, and on top of that, they will also be paid for completing the quest. They get really excited on hearing this, and soon their party goes to the city where Earthy's shop is situated. While Yuk waits in the market, thinking about the time he came to this city with his previous party, the girls get their new gear. They soon come running to show their new drip to Yuk, and he starts his blood flowing down to his third leg. He then tells them that instead of live streaming their fight, this time, they will have to hand over the recording to Earthy's as per the quest. He starts recording, and then his party enters the dungeon. Yuk tells the girls that this dungeon is only 4 floors deep, but its lowest floor has the gate to a bigger dungeon, and their quest goal is to reach the second dungeon. They come to an open space inside the dungeon, and Yuk picks a stone and throws it down to show the girls that a distortion in space doesn't allow anyone to take shortcuts here. He asks them to be careful that they don't fall down the stairs. While Marina and Silk agree to him immediately, Rain seems to be upset with Yuk, and he doesn't even know what he did wrong. Marina and Silk tell him that he didn't pay enough attention to Rain earlier because she is flat like the earth, and Yuk immediately notices the new ribbon around her hair. He tells Rain that she looks cute because her ribbon matches her hair color, and this needy hoe gets flustered and immediately hugs him. With that, they get down to the next floor of the dungeon, and Yuk soon detects a trap using his magic lantern. He pokes the trap with his grandma's walking stick, and suddenly, spears pop out of all 4 walls. They pass through the gap between the spears and soon encounter the first monster of the dungeon. It is a group of orcs, and Silk furiously draws her bow because elves hate orcs like Christians hate gays. Yuk tells her to calm down because her anger can break their formation, but assures her that they will completely wipe out those ugly monsters. He assesses that the orcs look like low-level soldiers, but they look more organized than he expected. He tells Rain to charge up a powerful magic attack to hit all of them at once, and then tells the other 2 girls to get ready to finish the ones left at last. Yuk casts enchantment magic on everyone, and then Rain shoots a powerful fire attack at them, burning the orcs. Next, Yuk uses a magic scroll to crush them with heavy rocks, and Silk supports him by shooting the orcs. They manage to take down 2 of them, and the remaining 2 orcs rush towards them. Yuk uses paralysis debuff to slow them down, and then Marina charges ahead, using her ultimate move to defeat 1 orc. Silk shoots the other orc to keep it busy in the meantime, and then Marina attacks it too, splitting its head open with 1 strike. Yuk goes over to the dead orcs to collect their magic stones, and he asks Silk if she has calmed down now. She apologizes for getting tense on seeing the orcs, but Yuk understands that it is a part of her elf DNA. Silk is happy to hear this, and just then Marina comes there with a damaged scroll she found with one of the orcs. Yuk finds that it is an artifact that can reveal hidden abilities of an adventurer. He says that they can't use it right now because it is damaged, but he can repair it with his alchemy skills. He tells the girls that one of them can use it instead of selling it because it will enhance their talents and maybe even unlock a new job class. Both Silk and Rain tell him that he should let Marina use it since she has only 1 job class. As Marina is daydreaming about what job she will get, a treasure chest suddenly appears before them as a reward for defeating the orcs. Later, as they take a lunch break, they find that the treasure chest had a magic bag inside it, and everyone decides to give it to Rain because supporters like her need it more. After that, they head to the 4th floor of the dungeon, and Yuk tells the girls that the entrance to the 2nd dungeon used to be guarded by a boss monster, but it has been many years since one was last seen. The girls ask him more about the boss monster, and he tells them about the Shadow Stalker, a monster that appeared to be made from pure darkness. Marina spots something exactly like that in the distance and asks Yuk if he is talking about that, and he is stunned to see that there is a real Shadow Stalker in the dungeon. He focuses his camera on it because Shadow Stalkers are really rare to find. He thinks that the Shadow Stalker won't reach them quickly because no one can just jump down from a higher floor. But the boss monster decides to prove that he is built different. He jumps down and shatters the invisible barrier that prevents anything from taking a shortcut. Yuk panics and realizes that they have no choice but to fight. He immediately pulls out a scroll to cast multiple enchantments on the girls, but the boss monster sends a dark wave towards Marina, shattering her barrier and knocking her out. While Rain heals her, Yuk and Silk take a stand against the Shadow Stalker. Yuk charges at it, and as the monster destroys his barrier, he understands that it can destroy magical shields. He uses an illusion spell to distract the boss monster with a clone while he reaches behind it, and then puts 3 offensive enchantments on his sword to attack. However, just as he is about to hit the boss monster, it uses a curse spell to completely freeze his body. Yuk realizes that this monster is really strong and intelligent, and they have no way to beat it. He wants to tell the girls to run away, but his body is frozen and he can't even utter a word. The girls panic on seeing their leader being taken down, and then the Shadow Stalker sends a dark storm towards them. Rain blocks it with a holy shield, and then Silk summons strong vines to attack the boss monster. It dodges everything and then attacks Silk from behind while Rain is busy trying to revive Yuk. Luckily, Marina is back in action. Silk takes the command in Yuk's absence and tells Rain to enchant Marina's sword with Holy Element. Rain does that, and Marina tries to attack the boss monster from up close, but it keeps dodging everything. Rain uses a wide-range spell to attack him, but the boss disappears and then appears near Marina and Rain, injuring them with his sharp claws. Next, he uses powerful magic to shoot dark magic beams at the girls from all sides. But just as all hope seems lost, Yuk comes back to his senses and uses a scroll that creates a holy shield around them. He throws away the high-level artifact that protected him from lethal damage, and tells the Shadow Stalker that it will pay for hurting his girls. He immediately casts 1,000 snare circles on the ground, and no matter how hard the monster tries, he cannot avoid them all. He keeps slipping, and then Yuk uses all the debuff spells he knows to weaken it. He then uses a healing spell to get all the girls in peak shape. Next, Silk uses a tier 4 spell to bind the boss monster in strong vines, and then produces sharp thorns to pierce it all over. After that, Marina attacks it with her ultimate move, and finally, Rain casts the purification magic to exorcise the monster made of darkness. The fight is over with that, and Marina immediately runs to hug Yuk and crush his ribs. After that, Yuk asks Rain what did she learn about the Shadow Stalker from this fight, and she reveals that he was a zombie with an incredibly dense mana that should not be possible naturally. She believes that this is the clear sign of an overflow, and everyone gets worried. Marina and Silk suggest that they should start a live stream to inform everyone about it, but Yuk is against that. He says that they are wearing armor that has not been made public yet, so if they reveal it without the permission of their client, it would be problematic. He thinks that they should just reach the second dungeon and complete their quest so that they can inform the guild about it quickly. He starts moving ahead, but Rain stops him and heals the injury on his face before they continue their quest. They soon come to the gate to the second dungeon and end their mission by touching it. Later, they return to the city, and Yuk reports to the guild about the existence of the Shadow Stalker. He comes out to tell the girls that they can be interviewed later, so they will stay in this city for a few more days. They are really excited to hear that and tell Yuk that they should go sightseeing in their free time, and he gladly agrees. On the other side, Yuk's former party, Thunder Pike, is having a hard time ever since he left. They complain about eating dried food because when Yuk was with them, they could eat something new each time because of his magic pot. They aren't really cooperating well with each other as well, and leaving important things to the healer and the magician. On top of that, the magician is being treated like an errand girl, and everyone tells her to learn some useful skills because she is too weak and can't contribute much to the fight. Anyway, she turns on the live stream before their party heads into the dungeon, but within a couple of hours, they return to the guild after failing the mission. The receptionist smiles as she tells them that they have been failing a lot recently, and if that continues, they might get demoted. This infuriates Simon, but the receptionist stands on business and tells him to take easier jobs to save his party's name. After that, they start drinking and eating, and the magician girl Jamie sits at a separate table. The big warrior is furious that the receptionist talked about demoting them, but Simon says that she was right because they can't take high-level quests with just the 4 of them. The healer tells him to find another party member in that case because that is his job as a leader. The 3 of them quickly come to the conclusion that they need Yuk back in their team at all costs, but they don't know what they can do to make him come back. Simon, being Yuk's childhood friend, knows that he won't return so easily, and if they want to attract his attention, they need something that will convince him. He says that if they want to get Yuk interested, they will need to challenge the Infinite Darkness dungeon because that has been his goal since the beginning. He believes that if they do a joint quest with other parties, they can attract Yuk. Simon says that they just have to pretend to be serious about it because Yuk won't be able to think properly on hearing their offer to join them. The warrior and the healer agree with him, but the magician Jamie is really disappointed by how low her party has fallen. On the other hand, Yuk and his girls are back in the city after their successful quest. As they take a stroll through the market, everyone recognizes the girls because they were in the ad video released by the popular armor brand Earthies, but some butthurt men are jealous of them as well. Anyway, they are out on a mission to find a house to rent for their party. Their broker takes them to a house in the suburbs first, but Yuk turns it down because it doesn't look too safe for women. Next, the agent takes them to another house, and everyone thinks that it is better than the previous one. Yuk asks the agent to keep it on hold for them, and he says that he has one last option to show them. He takes them to the last house, but Yuk gets nervous as they get close because Thunder Pike's base is also in this region. On hearing this, all the girls decide that they don't even need to see the third property because they don't want a bunch of assholes to be their neighbors. With that, they buy the second house and their stuff is moved in soon as well. Yuk asks the girls if they have decided on their rooms because they should sort out their stuff quickly, and they say that they were just thinking about it. Silk asks Yuk which room does he want, and he gets confused because he wasn't planning on staying with them. He tries to tell them that it is not a good idea because he is a man after all, but the girls laugh at this incel who gets uncomfortable at the mere thought of sharing a house with 3 girls. Marina tells him that this is their party base, so all of them should stay together, and no one will mind if he accidentally walks in on them while they are taking showers or getting stuck in the washing machine. Yuk tells them that he has no desire to see their thottery and asks them to keep their doors locked all the times because they should not trust any man, not even him. With that, they settle into their new house, and Yuk even buys a 64-inch OLED television so that they can watch their recorded videos in 4K. The girls thank him for the gift, and they make a toast to celebrate buying their own base. As they start drinking, Rain's gaze becomes glued to the TV, and when Yuk looks at the screen, he sees his former party declaring that they are going to take on the Infinite Darkness dungeon. There are going to be more high-level parties with them on the quest to investigate the dungeon, and even the kingdom has given them the permission to enter. Yuk is stunned to hear this, and his girls try to comfort him. He tells them that he doesn't have any FOMO because the dungeon is going to be there even after this mission. He says that he wants to explore the bottom floor of the dungeon and reach the Abyss Gate, but now he wants to do it with his girls. He tells them that they don't need to worry about anything, because they will reach the dungeon one day, and then they will live stream their greatest adventure. As they start eating and drinking again, a letter slips in through the door and Yuk finds that it is from the guild. He goes there immediately, and the receptionist gives him an invitation letter from Thunder Pike, who wants him to join their party for the exploration of the Infinite Darkness dungeon. They promise to make him a permanent member after the quest, but Yuk wants nothing from them, and he asks the receptionist to reject the invitation on his behalf. After that, Yuk and Rain go grocery shopping, but Simon finds them there. He is furious because Yuk denied the invitation to join their party and asks if he has forgotten his dream to explore the dungeon. Yuk remains calm and tells him that he is proud that his former party is going to explore the hardest dungeon and wishes him all the best. Simon loses his cool and says that their plan needs him to be in the party, but Yuk refuses again. Simon tries to intimidate him by shouting, but Yuk tells him to use his brain for once. He reminds him that sending a request to someone who is already in a party is considered bad manners, and he is free to refuse any requests. The asshole knight blames Yuk for everything their party has gone through after he left, but that was the final straw. Yuk can't take it anymore and tells him that leaving the party was the best decision he ever made. He begins yelling at Simon, reminding that he dumped all the tasks that didn't involve fighting on him. He says that the party had it really easy because he was doing all the important work, but they never valued his contribution. Simon is taken aback by his rage, but then Rain holds Yuk's hand, calming him down. Simon tries to convince Yuk to return, promising that things will be different this time, but Yuk replies that it is too late. He says that he is going to stick with his party Clover, and whatever happens to Thunder Pike doesn't concern him. Yuk walks away holding Rain's hand and Simon curses him, saying that they will manage it even without him. 2 weeks later, Yuk is summoned by the guild master who tells him about the abnormalities in dungeons all around the region, which clearly signals a stampede. The guild master says that even the royal scholars think the same, and the reason they gave permission to investigate the Infinite Darkness dungeon was because of this. Yuk realizes that the situation is a lot more serious than he thought, and then the guildmaster says that he has a quest for his party. He wants them to investigate the Infinite Darkness dungeon, and Yuk immediately shoots down the idea because it is too dangerous. He says that Thunder Pike and other rank parties are strong enough to do the quest on their own, but the guildmaster informs him that 2 of the parties, including Thunder Pike, have backed out. He then gives Yuk a report about the only recorded log of the Infinite Darkness dungeon, reminding him of his dream to reach the bottom of the dungeon. The guildmaster tells him that they need someone as skilled and resourceful as him to take charge of this investigation. The old man then gives Yuk a scroll of exit, a super rare item that can teleport one out of the dungeon. Yuk asks why is he so insistent on him to take the mission, and he replies that he is the only person whose information he can trust. Just then, the receptionist comes there and hands over the official quest letter from the king to Yuk. He realizes that it will be tough to turn down the mission now, and tells the guildmaster that he will consult his party members before giving a final answer. Once he reaches home, he explains everything to the girls and says that they should turn down the request because it is too dangerous and they are not prepared for it. The girls, however, think that they have the latest equipment, and with some luck, they can manage to investigate the dungeon. Yuk is still not convinced because he is scared of losing them, and Rain hugs him, asking him to show more trust in them. The other girls also tell him to stop hesitating and chase his dreams freely, because they want to rise up in the world of adventurers with him. Their words give Yuk confidence, and he goes to the guildmaster's office with the girls and accepts the quest. He says that they might need another party member to fill in the role of a scout, and the guildmaster says that he has already prepared for that. On his cue, the receptionist comes there with a nervous cat girl, who introduces herself as Neen. She says that she specializes as a ninja and wants to join their party for this mission. Yuk has no problem with a new party member, and they immediately go to the entrance of the Infinite Darkness dungeon, which surprisingly was under the guild building the whole time. The receptionist tells them that the guild building was made on top of the dungeon entrance to hide it from the world. The guild master tells Yuk that initially, there were 3 rank parties that were going to enter the dungeon, but 2 of them backed out. Yuk's former party, Thunder Party, is the only one left, and right now, they are inside the dungeon, but their sponsors are not happy with them. The guild master then tells him to be careful on the mission and wishes him all the best. Yuk checks his party's status and finds that all of them are fully prepared to enter the dungeon. With that, the entrance to the dungeon is opened, and Yuk starts the live stream before heading inside. The space inside the dungeon is warped with irregular gravity, but the party is able to walk through the passageway without difficulty. The cat girl Neen uses a magic lantern to check for any traps and a magic compass to find the direction. She finds no traps nearby, so she decides to go ahead and scout the area on her own before everyone else can catch up. In the meantime, the girls ask Yuk how is he feeling after coming to the Infinite Darkness dungeon that he has always dreamt of. Yuk tells them that it isn't as emotional or thrilling as he imagined, but Silk says that she is feeling quite excited. She says that her main reason to start adventuring was money, but when she heard Yuk talking about his dreams so passionately, she changed her mindset. That is why she feels really excited to be standing in this dungeon alongside Yuk, because he is very close to fulfilling his dream. Yuk is glad to hear that, and just then, Neen returns with her report. She found nothing dangerous on the first floor and even located the entrance to the first floor. But it is even more weird. There is a sunken ship in the middle of a forest on the first floor, and Yuk keeps looking around for anything more suspicious or out of place. He tells the girls that Thunder Pike has already reached the 8th floor of the dungeon. Marina says it is too slow because they started their journey 2 weeks ago. Yuk says that their pace is going to be even slower because they just have to investigate the dungeon for any odd thing. They are going to live stream everything so that the scholars at the Royal Academy can locate any problems or suspicious things. Just then, Neen stops everyone because her magic mirror shows her that a monster is nearby and they can't avoid it. They soon come across the monster, and Yuk asks Rain to hit it with a compact defensive spell and Silk to aim for its head. He then pulls a huge crossbow out of his and gives it to Marina so that she can attack the monster from a distance as well. Rain starts chanting a powerful spell, and while she takes her time, Yuk uses his special magic prismatic missile to hit the shark-headed monster. That doesn't do much damage, and the monster starts coming towards them, so Marina shoots it with her crossbow, piercing its chest. The monster gets furious because of this, and then Rain hits it with a fire spell, setting it ablaze. The monster is still standing, so Silk shoots 3 arrows at it. Seeing that it is still struggling to stay upright, Yuk gets in front of the girls to protect them. But after a few seconds, the monster finally falls down. Neen is impressed because she didn't even get to show her skills, and on top of that, she saw the unique spell that made Yuk famous. After that, they reach the safe zone and Yuk pauses the live stream while everyone rests and recovers their strength. Next, Yuk shifts everyone's attention to the treasure chest in front of them and suggests that they should open it off camera to avoid any controversies. He asks Neen to show her thief skills, and she begins poking around the keyhole to locate any traps. She finds a simple trap inside and easily deactivates it before opening the chest that is loaded with jewels. The girls start drooling on seeing so many jewels, and Yuk asks Silk to store all of them. Once she is done, he decides to inspect whatever is left in the treasure. He finds a ring artifact and a black cube artifact, which he can't analyze or understand. He tells the girls that it seems that the artifact is a baby that doesn't even know what it is. The girls get excited on hearing that the artifact is a baby, and both Marina and Rain want it. Yuk tells them that they will need to run it by the guildmaster to know what it is first, but he is sure that it is something rare. He then asks Rain to show her and then puts the ring he just found on her ring finger because it fits perfectly. He tells her that she should use this ring that can stabilize her mind, but when he looks at her, he finds that he has destroyed her mental balance by his actions. Rain is blushing like crazy because Yuke essentially proposed to her, and now she has no problem with giving the black box to Marina. They resume their exploration with that, and Nin uses the magic compass that detects the flow of air to find the entrance to the second floor. Once they reach the safe zone on the second floor, Yuke asks the girls what they think was odd about this dungeon. They tell him that the way the scenery changes constantly was odd, and other than that, only the shark-headed monster seemed out of place. Yuke agrees and adds that the treasure chest they found on the first floor was also unusual, because treasure chests are normally found in floors that are more difficult. He thinks that there must be some relation between the shark monster and the treasure chest being found on the first floor, and decides to think about it later. He says that they should head back for today since they have explored enough, and the girls agree. They walk back to the dungeon entrance, but then Nin senses someone coming towards them. It turns out to be Yuke's former party, which has got 2 new members for this mission. Simon acts arrogant as he tells Yuke that if he was going to come down here anyway, he should have accepted their invitation. Yuke replies that he was not going to fall for his scheme, and then reveals that they are here on a formal mission from the king. The other members of Thunder Pike get furious for no reason and call Yuke an ungrateful bastard, but Simon acts like they are partners on the same mission. He tells Yuke to hand over the livestream recording and all the items he has gathered to Thunder Pike because they are in an alliance now. He also pulls rank and says that it will be better if a rank party makes the report to the guild master, and his friends try to convince Yuke into thinking that it is the best option for his party's future. They keep telling Yuke to think of it as a great favor, and he starts getting pissed. Rain is also frustrated with their attitude, so she lashes at them for trying to use their rank to blackmail Yuke. Simon's party members tell her to shut up, calling her a savage dark elf, and that is when Yuke runs out of patience. He lashes at the warrior and the priestess, telling them that he won't tolerate anyone who insults his party members. He even gets ready to draw his sword against them, but Simon tries playing cool and asks him to hand over his loot. Yuke just slaps his hand away, telling him that he will never work with nasty assholes like them. He leaves Simon and others shocked with his response as he tells his girls that they should return to the surface. This entire conversation was live streamed, and everyone who watched it thinks that it will cause a big problem soon. Well, it does cause a big problem, and not for Yuke's party, but for Thunder Pike. 2 days after this incident, they are summoned to the guild master's headquarters, who tells them there have been multiple official complaints against them from their sponsors, the Country of Elves, and the guild headquarters. Simon doesn't take it seriously and says that the bigger problem should be a C-rank party insulting a rank party like theirs. He adds that the guild should never have let a party with a savage dark elf in it enter the dungeon in the first place. But the guild master punches this racist piece of shit before he can complete the sentence. The guildmaster walks towards him as he says that since a rank adventurer like him made racist remarks against a dark elf on a live stream, it has harmed the reputation of their country. He grabs Simon by the throat, saying that his actions can cause serious problems between their country and the elves, and to prevent that, Thunder Pike will have to do an apology stream. Not only that, they will be put on trial, and in the worst case, they may be exiled forever. He lets him go with that, and Simon says that it is an unwise decision because if they exile a rank party, they won't have anyone to explore the dangerous dungeon. The guild master reveals that there will be no problem because Yuke's party has been given a temporary rank for this mission, and they have already shown great results. Despite this warning, Simon is not ready to apologize to anyone, and he curses Yuke for setting him up with his live stream. As he is busy cursing him in the middle of the street later, the fat ugly noble comes there and tells Simon that he has a way to get revenge on Yuke that will benefit them both. On the other hand, Marina approaches Yuke because she has figured out the use of the black box artifact. Yuke is eager to learn how a dumb like her could discover it, and Marina replies that after she spent enough time with the box, the idea came to her naturally. However, she can't use it by herself, and she needs Yuke's help to fully activate the artifact. He thinks that it needs a touch of his alchemy skills, but instead, Marina just asks him to hold the box and think about her. Yuke thinks about Marina as a fighter, and suddenly, the black box transforms into a special sword designed just for her. Marina is overjoyed to see the sword, but Yuke doesn't even understand what is happening. Marina refuses to explain things to him, and just says that the black box was like a baby, and it needed a mom and a dad before it could start functioning. Yuke gets embarrassed on hearing that, while this psycho bitch starts cuddling with the sword itself. The next day, Yuke and the Clover Party go to the Infinite Darkness dungeon again, and he turns the live stream on in advance. He then